of their 2 million-year existence on this planet, humans have lived as hunter-gatherers. Ingenuity and their inventiveness as hunters that they were later to develop civilization so easily and rapidly in different parts of the world. Hunting contributed to the nutritional, physical, social, and religious aspects of human behavior. Humans migrated into all continents and climates because of their adaptive abilities, such as the power to observe and study natural phenomena and animal behavior. For civilization today, hunting is a disappearing skill necessary for the survival of only a few hunting societies. Yet men continue to hunt. In this program, we have documented several hunts as they actually happened in Alaska. We hope to shed some light on the reasons why these men hunt. These are the hunters, Jean and Jeff Roederer, who came on a trophy hunt from France, Eberhard Brunner, their guide, and Mike Miranda, their assistant guide. John Andrews, a subsistence hunter from McGrath, out on a moose hunt. Ernie Baumgartner, a dog musher and resident of McGrath. Keith Apple and Con Bundy, sport hunters from Anchorage. And Jim Mahaffey and his son John, also from Anchorage.
There is in all of us a certain instinct, hunter-gatherer sort of instinct that dates back to who knows when or where. Well, when I was very young, even at 3 and 4 years old, hunting was a very exciting thing to me, and I always asked my dad if I could go with him.
Where I grew up, you didn't really get your first gun. It was sort of handed down, and it was sort of a situation in your family where there were guns in the house, and you got to use them, and you grew into them. This first gun here was one that belonged to a great uncle of mine, and it's an old-fashioned 22, little lever action.
Well, when I was 10 years old, there was no moose in the country. Maybe there was one come around wintertime. I think we went after a dog team. My uncle and I and my dad. 3 days we go after that thing with dog team. Well, we got it, we had Christmas meat.
When I was a boy, it was important to be in a hunting camp and to sit around in the evening and listen to the older folks, the older men talk, not just of hunting stories, but of all sorts of things. It was a medium of learning.
I'm thinking of my old Uncle Heine Feldbush, right? And he taught me things about hunting that I didn't even know he was teaching me, and part of it is respect for the animals, one thing, of course, but another thing is how to shoot.
My first experience of hunting was with my father before the war, before the last war. After this first experience, as I was 10 years old, comes the war, and during the war, I don't go anymore hunting till 1945. Until then, I go hunting each year and when I can, each month, each week.
I've been hunting for 17 years now. And the first time that was with my father, so I was 3 years old. That was after the experience I had with him, which make me like the hunting game.
I like to shoot different animals, but I like to shoot old ones, big ones, to have a beautiful trophy to bring home. Years ago, I heard from Alaska, but I didn't know that I could go there to hunt. It was only 2 years ago that I learned that it is possible to go hunting a moose, caribou, bears, and other wild animals. I want to buy license for my son and I for moose, caribou, and...
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I don't think that the fact that a great deal of money is spent on hunting that justifies trophy hunting at all. I've said before, and I'll say it again, that wildlife belongs to all of us.
We have been inclined to degrade the trophy hunter, but we don't really know what that trophy hunter, quote unquote, gets out of that trip. Maybe that is the person who does the most for conservation, because they have the wherewithal financially to donate monies to conservation funds.
I would say this about trophy hunters, that usually they take only the old and mature animals, and that's good. I'm not one that would support, I'm not one who supports the ego trip of having to go out and kill a big set of horns and then proclaiming to all the world that I've conquered the animal.
I think that if we take a really hard look at the history of what we call a, quote, trophy, that the early French cave paintings showed adornment of some of the trophies of those early cavemen. Our native cultures glorify the animals and the people, and in essence are trophies or mementos or residue of that experience. By the same token, photographs are residue of experience.
Made it. Wie geht's? Wie geht's?
Wie geht es bei Ihnen? Das geht gut.
Alles gut.
Most of my clients are European clients. They come from France, Switzerland, Austria, some from Germany. Most of them are repeat hunters or the friends of hunters I had in the past. And like I said, I know most of them before they come hunting. I meet them, give an introduction and let them know what they can expect and what they can hunt and, what kind of shape they should be, what kind of equipment they should bring to hunt in Alaska. Well, the amount of money sounds like a lot of money. The guide, our guide, I'm not talking for myself, a big game hunt anywhere, if it's in Alaska or in Africa or in Mongolia. I think Alaska is actually a relatively inexpensive figure, about $400 a day cost to the hunter. On the other hand, I pay some of the assistant guy up to $100 more a day, some of them $120, $150 a day. And then food, fuel, transportation and everything, and in the end, I actually work with a fairly small net profit compared to the effort you put in, the risk and everything else that's involved in the guiding business.
Used to road on go for $3 a day. That was better than $2 a day. Well, I firefights for a long time. Ever since I got out of the Army, 47. Then I worked in the riverboat some years. Otherwise, in wintertime, I trapped.
For John Andrews, like most rural Alaska natives, subsistence hunting is both a necessity and an important cultural tradition.
As the head of my own family, we've been subsistence living, relying on the foods that are available out in the area since, I'd say probably about 1966, 67. We just couldn't afford all the things, to get fruits and vegetables and out into the bush. It's real expensive, and to get good fresh meat is very expensive. Every time a season is available, we usually go after whatever is available. The moose, of course, is the big thing. Fish is an awful large staple. People should realize that the people that are living out in the bush, that the meat isn't just an extra thing that they get. It doesn't just make life a little easier. In some cases, it's a necessity. You run out of moose meat and maybe you don't have any other meat in the freezer. You can't afford to go down and buy the meat at the local stores, really, because the prices are just way too high. And now this isn't true of everybody, with a lot of people.
Well, we depend on that, like moose and caribou and fish from the river. Plus, we get a lot of chickens this time of the year. spruce and spruce chickens.
You eat every part of the moose?
Oh yeah, cut the head and all, you know. Some part of the guts hot, and the heart and liver. And there's a little chewer inside. They cut it off, wash it out inside out. They cook that one too. And the whole gut. You want to do that whole gut, you know, from the rear end, turn it inside out and wash it. Then you shove meat inside, and you tie both ends. Then you wrap it around the pot inside and cook it, you know, and then cool it off.
What do you do with the head?
The head, you make head cheese out of it. The nose, you can boil the nose and then cool it off. Take all the hair out before it cool off while it's warm. You know. Don't worry about the snot, you know.
A true subsistence hunter to me is someone who lives in a remote area and does not have access to other forms of, let's say, fresh meat especially. That's the #1 subsistence.
Where the touchy part comes in is clearly defining who are the people who absolutely have to have that resource to subsist.
You know, he's not a bad boob. Sean, you have a minute?
I can let him look at it.
You want to look at this bull? He's right. You see the horizon there by the rock, eh?
Yes,
See where the other mountain comes down in the back?
yes.
He's right there, right where they meet each other. Take a look at him through the scope here. On his tines out there, they're really good and long. And he's got an excellent shovel on him, but he doesn't.
Yes.
He's a dominant bull. Not that much.
Why do you say that?
Well, usually when you have a herd of cows and calves like that, there's one bull that's the king bull of the bunch.
Yes, the king's bull.
Yeah. Hunting with a bow, of course, is you don't take as much game. It requires, for me, it requires a lot of practice. I find that when you get within 150 yards of an animal with a rifle, the hunt is pretty much over with if you're a reasonable marksman. With a bow, the hunt really gets a good start there. Most of the animals that I've taken with a bow have been between 7, 8 yards and 30 yards. I enjoy the hunting part. I like the stalk in the classic sense. I like to be with the animals. I like to be close to them. And you have a greater appreciation for them, a greater relative feel for their space and your space. And as a result of that, I think that the hunt is much more personal and the killing is subordinate. Trophy hunting, I feel, is like any other hunting in a sense. Most of your people that are trophy hunters work for their animals. You know, it's not as if we have them tied up and corralled and they're ready to shoot. Not everybody has success that comes trophy hunting. Some of them get their animal, some of them don't. Wait. The one On the left, take him. Good shot, good shot.
He must have the two.
Good shot, my friend. Pretty good for a young kid, huh?
But you did a very...
Good shot there. Let me look at it.
Splendid.
Yes?
Go, go. Hit it.
It's going.
Oh, the mountains behind.
Are we going to be able to see him again at the other side?
Yeah, he'll come out. He'll come out.
Oh, it's splendid.
There he is.
Hard.
John, you did a good job, my friend.
Yes, you too.
You did a good job.
We do.
You look good.
We.
You're good on the wall.
I only shoot. Yes, now it's...
Sean, you did a super job. Oh, he's nice. Look at that shovel. Look at that shovel.
Well, I can't leave it. Yes.
Oh, double shovel. Well,
What is that?
the shovel right here, you
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
Okay, normally, 90% of the time, they only have one shovel. Now see, this is a double shovel, which is two shovels coming out in front. It's very rare to find your doubles on your shovels.
Oh.
Plenty. One more. Plenty of film.
You hear a stick break?
Yes. Yeah.
Hear a stick break. Hear something on
We tend to classify people into subsistence users and or trophy hunters. But the real truth of the matter is they are the minority of the hunters. The majority of the hunters are urban dwellers who go to rural areas to hunt. In Alaska, that's precisely what it is. In the other lower 48, it's the same thing. They go there to seek a balance in their life of some form or some way of making life easier in the big city. Where I grew up, duck hunting was a fairly active part of the things that we did in that area, in that era. And many people had duck hunting camps or cabins around it, which I now have here.
That's that great illogical part of it, is trying to go out and outsmart a duck, you know. Sometimes it's really tough.
How can you outsmart a duck when a duck has to be here? And we could stay home, and when we're coming here to show we're smart.
Now, how tough, a shape is your ego in to believe that you got to go out and outsmart a duck, and then when you do, to really be proud of it.
I know that Alaska is 3 times as big as France, so I think it's, for me, a new world to discover, really. In America, I will find the complete nature, a natural world where we can walk for 1, 2, 3 days alone without meeting any other person. So just with my guide, and then go to the nature. And well, after the shot, when he fell down, for me that was really great. That was it's one of my targets. One of the reasons I come here. I'm going to do the whole hand with the neck and put in my room and sleep with it to be sure that I've got it with my African trophies.
The cost of getting out into the bush and in hunting is getting higher and higher and higher. So, you know, it's just those that really can afford it that are coming out. You don't find the people coming out to sport hunt or you know, meat hunt for their family or whatever from outside that really need the stuff. It's more those that are doing it for you know, a change in pace, a little variety in their life, which is fine. I think the game belongs to everybody, but it's affecting us. It's becoming harder for us to get it, and now the day's coming when we just won't be able to get it.
There's no question that hunting is changing. I came up here many years ago because of the wild and free nature of the land, and it alarms me no end to see these changes taking place. One of the major reasons it's taking place is because of the influx and the increase in population and the demand for resources. When you get such a demand on a resource such as we have on hunting today all over the world, then management becomes an imperative thing. And the mere fact of managing in itself detracts from the very wild, primitive, and free feeling. It's very detracting to find a transmitter or a radio transmitter or an orange spot or a ribbon hung around every moose or caribou or grizzly bear that you come on. You may be far back in the wilderness where you think that you're free from the effects and the trappings of modern man, only to come across an animal decked out in this kind of instrumentation. And I certainly realize that it's necessary and important, yet it merely points out the fact that the world is no longer as we knew it even 30 years ago. It wasn't too long ago that a hunter could go up the highway 120 miles here and shoot 5 caribou in one winter. And these are things of the past.
Anybody that goes up and kills an animal, lets the meat lie, and then takes the head and runs, I think that, in a sense, is almost as if it was a murdering. You know, it's wanton waste is what it is.
And we've all heard the horror stories. People shoot a great moose and pack out only the horns, and what a tragedy. Or all the mounds of caribou that were talked about that got left laying along the Kobuk River that one year, killed and left lay. I think there needs to be, I guess, a cultural revival in all cultures, so that while you realize that you can and do utilize a resource, you must respect it and perpetuate it. If we're to maintain our lifestyle, or if we're even to maintain life.
I know that as a person who subsists on wild game, I'm not truly qualified technically as a subsistence hunter, but I need it for the total makeup of who I think I am or how I feel about myself and my environment. I want to participate in it. I don't want to go to the grocery store and buy beef all shot full of steroids and chickens that have been raised in little coops all jammed together. I like the idea of wild game.
Hit him in the head that time.
Pretty good size, eh? Dirty life.
There's always remorse in killing. Just like I don't take any pleasure in pain to have someone kill for me, which I do, even though indirectly when I buy a McDonald's hamburger, someone has to kill that animal that provides that, or buy a pair of shoes or a wallet, someone has to kill the animal that provides that leather. And even those who say, well, I don't eat meat or whatever, the vegetables, the cloth, the cotton, all that is grown on land that has displaced wildlife. And so we all kill for our survival, and some in a more obscure and remote way, and others by pulling a trigger. And there's no pleasure in that, but it's a fact of life.
Yeah, weren't those swans beautiful?
Yeah.
Here's the duck. Here's the duck. Way out.
Snook.
Wow. Hey, partner. Oh, got one of those. Come on, boss. Come on, man. Hey, come on. Good girl. Oh, boy. Good dog, huh? Look at that. Yeah. Ain't they beautiful? Turn around and show the wingtip. Yeah. I see you had a lot of trouble, too. Well, I heard that. All hunters contribute through license fee and all kinds of taxes, contribute a lot of money to the preservation of habitat, or not preservation, but the enhancement of that habitat, not just for the wild game that they hunt, but for all game. And
I think it's a privilege to be able to be out hunting, and I think we need to focus on our game management personnel and allow them to manage. I think with good management, we can continue to enjoy the opportunity to be in the field.
well, they're a big bird. God, beautiful bird.
I think we have a healthy moose and caribou population, and with wise harvesting, not overhunting it, I think you could hunt maybe for many, many years and never hurt the game population.
Not always when we go hunting do we have to provide meat for the freezer. If we have enough, then a successful hunt might be a good time, good camaraderie, good companionship, just being able to see the animals. These are all things which make for a successful hunt.